Welcome, everybody. We're back with episode 3. Can you believe it? Because there was still so many juicy things that we haven't discussed yet. And that's why I'm so happy that Leonie is back with us. Welcome, Leonie.
Thank you so much. And I'm so excited for this episode because the other two were already amazing. So I'm thinking that this is going to be epic as well.
Well, let it be epic. Let's dive right in because there are a few things that I personally am struggling with. I am a woman who thinks she's done some of the work. I know the work is never done, but I've been working on myself since 2000, well, let's say 2018. I really dive deep into reparenting, working on the inner child, doing all that type of stuff. And still, I haven't found the man of my dreams. I haven't found my love, the man that I want to start a family with, build that empire with. Why do you think that is?
Mm. Yeah, let's go deep. Because there's something wrong with you. No, it's not. That's absolutely not true. But yeah, I know you've done so much work. You've been to so many seminars, you did coaching, therapy. I think you're really an example of someone who, yeah, values herself a lot. So that's why you put so much effort in healing. But I also believe, you don't have to be healed. And sometimes people are addicted to healing.
I love that. Thank you. That actually takes a lot of
Yeah.
pressure off
Yeah.
me because I always felt like I need to be fully healed to
No,
to connect with the right person. But do you say that I can actually heal with my future partner together, or we can
100%.
become secure together? Because if
100%.
we're talking about attachment styles, I'm sure most of you guys have read the book The Attachment Styles, and I used to be an avoidance, and I always wanted to be secure. But do I need to attract a secure person to become secure, or can I do this together with someone who is also anxious or
Yeah,
avoidant?
that's an amazing question. And thank you for asking, because what I do believe, I mean, otherwise, the whole world, who everyone who's working on themselves would be fully healed, and then we would all be perfect, right? And then we could put everyone on an island, Bali, for
Yeah.
example, and then we are all
Happy
healed.
to
Yes,
peppy.
I mean there are a lot of people putting work, putting in the work, like also in Ubud, which
Mm,
is fantastic. But sometimes what I see happening is that yeah, people get addicted to that healing. Oh, I need to do a little bit more breath work. I need to do my inner child work. I need to do this therapy and that therapy to
mm,
because they believe that when they do it, they will be good enough.
mm,
But it's more like accepting where you are with all your flaws, with all everything that you carry with you. I mean, you
mm,
can heal and it really works. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. But accepting where you are in life is super important because, and also attracting a partner. I mean, you also always mirror each other,
mm,
because when you meet a partner yet now in your 30s, I'm sure he's also wounded
mm,
because he has a past. He has relationships, had relationships, and also maybe the relationship with his father is very bad, and maybe he's aware of it, but he didn't heal it. So the most important thing is when you meet each other and you both know, like, hey, I can be sometimes a little bit jealous, but I know where it comes from. Or I can be sometimes a little anxious when I don't hear from you for 3 days because, my old pattern is that I had a boyfriend who did this. And then, it's really a trigger for me, but I just wanted to express it. So if you do so, and he also says like, yeah, I have some trust issues because my previous girlfriend cheated on me, for example,
mm.
and I really thought I was building a future with her, and then I found out she was dating with my best friend, for example. I mean, the most important thing is to build a healthy connection is to put your insecurities on the table, not on date 1 or 2, but slowly. And then if you feel triggered, because we all do feel that,
Mm,
and it can be because he didn't respond to your message and you saw he posted something on Instagram, for example,
mm,
it can really hit us hard. But if you discuss it later and not from your wounded child, but in an emotional, mature way, and the difference is this, I'm going to show you. Your wounded child would say, "Hey, you know, you didn't text me back for 3 days. I was waiting. And you post stories online and you have time for Instagram, but you don't want to get back to me. What the fuck is this?" Sorry for swearing.
Yeah. No, it happens.
And then, that is the triggered part, the wounded part that responds. But if you say it like this, "Hey, I would love to share something with you. Something really triggers me. I know
Mm.
it's inside of me, but I just want to, yeah, share it with you because, when I don't hear from you for 3 days and sometimes I see you posting on Instagram, it gives me the feeling that I'm not important enough. So I just wanted to share." That's it.
Wow, this feels so healthy. This communication is the most healthiest form of love,
Yeah.
and it's so hard
Yeah.
because I wasn't able to do this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's actually now that I'm learning to communicate everything with my partner because me as an avoidant, the moment something gets tough, I walk away. It's like, okay, okay, then this is not for me, you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
That's like, okay, if this is getting too complicated or I have to explain myself that I don't want to explain myself,
No.
I'll walk away. It's easier. And it's actually um taking the easy road because you think, oh, by walking away, I'm gonna solve this relationship or like this is just not for me. But actually, that's not the solution.
No.
So I am aware now more. I actually had a few dates with a guy, and just his behavior was not okay. And I was in this situation, was like, am I gonna say something about this, or am I gonna again walk away? And keep it open, because when you keep something open it also eats on you, right? It's not
Yeah.
resolving anything. I'm not growing in my own self-worth.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. So I actually, for the first time, I told him like, "Hey, this actually makes me feel not okay." And you're actually finally having a true conversation, a real conversation. And yes, we didn't work out together, but it was like I'm stepping up. I'm stepping up to be a better version of myself. So that was the learning lesson, the curve that I got from that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful example that you give. Because this is exactly how it works. And it really depends on how the other person responds to that. So if you are staying true to yourself, your feelings, your needs, your emotions, or whatever happens, your vulnerability, because that's
Mm,
also what strong women these days find very hard, to be really vulnerable, to really speak out like, "Hey, what happens yesterday, or what you said to me, or what you didn't do, really hurt me."
mm,
Because they're afraid to express their emotions. Why? Because they think they scare someone away, or that the other person will think, like, "Oh my God, what a drama queen. I really don't want this. This is way too much." So what do?
yeah.
We shut off. We don't say, we don't express it. So, my real advice, if you're anxious, avoidant, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Don't step into that identity anymore,
Mm,
because nowadays there's so much information available. You
true.
can do all kind of attachment style test. We all know what we are. But the trick is, if you believe in that too much, you're gonna make it your identity. "Oh yeah, that's my anxious attachment. Oh, that's my avoidance style. Oh, that's it, that's that." No, it is what it is. And of
Mm,
course, you get triggered on that part. That happens. Someone does something, he's mirroring you, and then you feel it hits your heart in a way. And that's okay.
mm,
But just do not respond from your first emotion, because that's more the explosive one, just breathe in and
mm,
then feel like, "Hey, what happens? How do I feel about this?" And then later go back with your reflection. And then you have this mature communication. And then the other person can grow with you because they understand where it comes from.
mm.
And it also works the other way around, because there will be some things that you are doing without knowing it that triggers him.
Yeah.
But if he is open, like, "Hey, Iggy, I'm sorry, but what you just said really hurt my feelings, and I can tell you where it came from." And you were like, "Okay, thank you for sharing." then you're growing into that power couple. Because one of the things that really make a healthy relationship is when you are able to survive a fight.
Yes, fighting styles.
Fighting, and not real fighting, of course, but verbally fighting and not swearing. Okay, sometimes we are all human beings. You can swear and say that someone is an a hole or whatever. Of course, yeah. It's not that you cannot say that, but it
Mm,
depends on how do you both react on it later.
mm.
Like, are you both capable to go into the connection again, to really say sorry from a place, from your heart, and open a conversation with listening and not judging?
Yes. Yeah. I always learned we have two ears and one mouth, so we should start listening more instead of talking. That's also something that I'm trying to do. I just want to listen, and I think listening is such a beautiful feminine skill, actually.
Yeah.
Um, and actually, when you have a pause and when you take a step back and you're listening, the other person reveals so much more. I remember I used to be on a date and I always wanted to keep the conversation going, which drained so much of my energy. And now I'm really learning to just say, you entertain me. I don't need to entertain you, you know? And actually, it's really funny what happens if there's a moment of silence because also the guy wants to fill it up. And actually, this is how you get to know more about the guy that you're
Hmm.
seeing. So, yeah, listening is something that I'm activating right now.
Very good. Very good. And yeah, to go back to your question, like, why didn't you find your future husband?
The moment is here.
Well, I
Why
have a
am I not
secret
married
island.
yet?
No, I think, and I would love to offer you this as a friend, that we can do a more deep dive also on your values and on the things that you really want
Mm.
and how you will fix your picker. That means how you can make better choices in choosing a man, selecting.
Wait, does this mean you're gonna give me free advice now because you're my friend?
Yes.
Oh, yes, this is what I've been
I
manifesting, you
know,
know?
I know, I know. It's, I mean, I think every girl needs a love and dating coach in their
Yes!
life,
I'm the
and I
lucky
happen to
one!
be yours.
Yay!
And I do it with all my love, you know. So I think what we can work on, maybe we can make a next episode of it when we did the work,
Mm.
because you don't need to heal more. No, you can just let that go. If you want to heal, you can do it, but not.
No ayahuasca for me because I thought that was the next thing. I need to do ayahuasca. That's gonna heal me.
Yeah,
That's
me
gonna get
too.
my partner.
No, ayahuasca is not going to help you to get your partner,
Mushroom
but
journey?
no, it gives you insights. But you know, the thing is, attracting a partner also demands, like, you have to put yourself out there. I mean, you can meet someone organically in the ayahuasca ceremony, for example,
Duh.
both puking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then go to the ayahuasca ceremony, do your thing. And then it's nice if you meet someone because you have a great conversation because you're on the same journey, you know?
Mm.
But stop, how can I say, stop healing. Stop thinking that healing needs to be done until whenever. When is it enough? You know, when is
Mm.
it perfect? Don't go for the perfectness.
I think that's the hard part for me
I know.
because going back again, the it's something I think it's so important for me. I ask myself all the time, like, why do I want to be this perfect? It really comes from this core belief, from my childhood, I
I know,
think.
but that's the thing that's blocking you.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, the perfectness, you know, that I see that a lot with the women I work with. They learned that if you do your best, you're good enough, you know, and it already starts at school. Or if you are thin, or if you are
Mhm.
playing the violin, or whatever it is, or playing hockey on the highest level, you know, we learned sometimes as a child that that's the way love works. So then we learn, okay, I should be perfect. And maybe it also is in your job, you know, perfect appearance, perfect this,
Mm.
perfect that. You need to be perfect in a magazine, perfect TV
Yeah.
presenter, perfect model, perfect body. Everything should
It
be
definitely did not help the modeling industry for my career.
no,
I
but
think it started from already my family and
yeah.
my childhood, but then the modeling only, made it worse, I think.
Yeah, so now you're in a phase, and that's exactly my point in life, that when you let go of being perfect and also perfect healing, or, and especially this inner voice, if I do this, then,
Mm,
because that's really a toxic thought. If I do this, then it will be better. If I do this, then I will find love. If I do this, then I will be chosen or whatever.
mm,
You know, and that's a very toxic thought, because then we go automatically, we're going to live our life like it's never good enough, because your bar is behind the moon.
mm.
Perfectionism never stops. There's always a new goal to follow.
I am saying this because I'm gonna leave for a 5-day water fast tomorrow.
I know.
And I don't know if this is part again of me telling myself, at one side, I'm the biohacker, telling myself, like, this is great for longevity, this and that. But is it really the biohacker, or is it just the model Iggy that wants to look perfect and lose some extra weight because I just traveled for 3 weeks? So I have these two characters in my mind,
Yeah.
and I can tell that I still need to work on both of them, so
Yeah. And I just hear you say work on both of them. I believe, my sweetest friend Iggy, if you let go of the word work on, then you are in the receiving mode, because this is also masculine energy, to put
Mm.
yourself like all kind of goals. I need to do the water fest. I thought you were going to a water party, by the way.
Water
Water
festival.
party.
No, baby,
I
this is hardcore water
I
fasting, no
know.
food for 5 days.
I know, but and of course it's going to be fantastic for your health, and I'm not saying anything about it, but it's
Mm,
still another goal, something you need to achieve.
mm,
Because if I achieve this, then if I do the ayahuasca, then if I do the
yeah.
waterfest, then achievement, achievement, achievement. So attracting is more like being. You said, like, I want to be being, but being is like, sorry for swearing, fuck everything today. I'm wearing a bun, no makeup. I'm just walking on the beach with my pimple on my cheek. And I don't care, because I am happy. Because happiness comes from accepting your where you are in life.
Hmm. Yes. This is why what I mean, like, I have all the information, right? Because I can tell you everything. Again, being perfectly like I read the books and I know what to say, I know what to do. But that's not being. That's
You're
again
not living it.
doing. Yeah, I'm not living it. I'm just saying it. I can say the right words, but I'm actually not living it.
Exactly. So if you let go of your perfectionism and really start to listen, like, what do you really want in life, in a man, in a partner, and not his looks and his length, but more on a spiritual level, like, we can work on that,
Mm.
to really make it very specific. And then I can help you, like, okay, how do you attract him? How can you be more in your receiving energy instead of your achievement? Because no man will reject you because you didn't do the water fest. He will not say, I'm sorry, Ig, I really like 99% of you, but you really need to do the water fest, and then it's 100.
No man
No
will
man will
ever
ever
say
say that. He might say, I want to go to the waterfall and a water
with
party
you.
with
Yes,
you.
skinny dipping in waterfall.
Exactly.
Yes, that's
And
every
that's
man's dream.
exactly, but that's the joy. But
Mm,
don't put the bar too high for yourself if you stop doing that
mm.
and really go in the flow of being, and not doing and achieving. Then you're open, then your energy is open to really attract a fantastic future husband. I'm sure about that.
So I guess I am not the only woman with this problem. What happens if we don't do that kind of thing? Like we don't open up or don't be that authentic self. What kind of man do we attract?
The
Because if
man,
we are attracting men, I am attracting men in my life.
the man who choose you for the wounded part in you. So the one who is not good enough.
Hmm.
And then they think they also have their feeling
Their
of
own
not
issues.
being good
Yeah.
enough. So, for example, the men who attract you is that they feel not good enough. They need you to show off, for example. The story you
Yeah,
recently
that
told
happened
me.
recently.
Yeah, is someone who thought like, hey, if I have her on my side, then my life is perfect. Then I can show her off to my friends and family and on Instagram and look
Yeah.
how perfect my life will be. But they don't choose you because you didn't put yourself out there and you didn't choose yourself. And this is not a judgmental thing, but that's what I see is that sometimes women, we choose men, attract men who really l- seem to value us in the beginning, but it's more based on our appearance, for example, or the status or
Mm.
whatever it is, or they are super attracted. But are they also attracted to your personality and to your future goals?
Which is very important.
Exactly. And that's where it sometimes goes wrong because then the women that I help, they're so sometimes their inner Disney princess is really in love with a guy. And then I ask them, like, but why are you in love with him?
Hmm.
Why is it? Yeah, but when we see each other, we have a strong connection. And then I say, and if you don't see each other, what happens then?
Hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't know if he's ready for a relationship. I said, and for how long is this going on already? Yeah, for 6 months. But I know he's busy on his work. I know he will change.
Men will
When,
never
no,
change. The
when
moment.
his work is less busy,
Hmm.
then he will choose me. So I will wait.
It's funny how women can date a guy with potential. And I've learned the hard way, never date a guy with potential because men will show up the way they are
Yeah,
and they will not change.
exactly. No matter what they say or promise.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's the thing. And this is not about men because women can do the same. But yeah, it's like the picture perfect we believe in at that moment because we want to feel loved so badly.
Mm.
So we just put aside our own needs. Our own future goals are suddenly disappearing because we
Yeah.
are now with a guy who on paper suits perfect. And then, but he doesn't show up, he doesn't choose.
Uh, this reminds me actually of, I think this is something important that we should share with the women out there. Chemistry and peaceful relationships. I think a lot of us are confused because we think chemistry is love. And what I think out of my experience is I don't want the passion and the chemistry. I actually want to feel at ease. Maybe a little bit boring. I think boring is good. Just give me peace. What do you
Mhm.
think? Do you think chemistry is important? Is that love, or how do you see that?
Well, chemistry is super tricky because we can feel instantly in love, attracted to a new person. I also had that in the past. There
Mhm.
was like flashlights, fireworks when I met someone.
Great sex.
Oh man, oh, especially that. Chemistry went to the roof, and then the tricky part is your body responds to it, especially when you have sex already in an early stage.
Mhm.
So you think like, oh my God, what's happening? I've never experienced this before. I never want something else.
Mm.
So you actually start to develop an addiction, a
Ooh.
body addiction. Yes. It's like a drug because our body felt so on fire, that we want that again and again
Yeah.
because it feels like firework. So yeah, so this chemistry, what happens is our body focus on the chemistry. So every time we see each other, we see them, there is chemistry, there is sex there, and it's better, greater, whatever, more intense than the last time. So we build up this addiction. And in the meantime, we totally do not see, we are blind for their personality.
Hmm.
Blind. And then I'm not saying that things cannot go hand in hand, but most of the time, let me tell you that. Also, the women that I helped, but also in my past relationships, when it's based on chemistry, it's actually the beginning of the end. And it's most of the time very toxic on another end.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, a healthy relationship most of the time starts from a friendship base. Like you meet a person I mean, how did we become friends? Because we spent time with each other. We
Mm,
were aligned. We trust each other. Have
yes.
the same values. So that's why a friendship starts. So actually keep that in mind when meeting a man. Can he be my friend? Can I rely on him when I'm heartbroken because something happened, someone died in my family, for
Yeah.
example? You
Yeah,
know,
those are the moments.
those are the moments.
Yes.
Can I really express my feelings? Can I be
Mm,
open? So test that first, slowly but steady. And the chemistry will follow naturally. But sometimes if we are used to this addiction of chemistry, we start looking for it everywhere. And
mm,
all the time we see a hot guy, we feel this chemistry and something
mm.
fire in our body is enlightened.
Yeah, it's fine. I think I'm pretty good with this actually. Like when I date a guy, I never jump into anything. I actually like to go really slow. But most of my friends, they feel the chemistry and then they or have sex with the guy too early and then they ask themselves like why is he not texting me back?
Mhm.
Well, I really want to spend time with this person first because I know I can filter them very quickly after 3 dates. If the guy is still opening the door, picking you up, doing the little things, like that takes a long time to figure out if someone is actually sticking around for the right reasons. It takes time and take that time. Um, how do you feel about like having sex early on when you're dating a guy?
Well, of course, I think we all did it, but and sometimes it turned out to be a relationship long lasting. I also know
There's
couples.
always one like, oh, one story. No, they married and they
Yeah,
had sex on the first
first
night.
date.
I was
Yeah,
like, who is that?
yeah.
Where?
So I'm not saying it will never work out because I know if people see this podcast, they will say like, "Hey, I we are that couple,
Yeah,
so it
we met
worked
on
out
Tinder. We had sex on the first night, and now we
exactly."
have 2 kids.
And we're married, so I know it does
It
work
is
out.
possible.
But I'm not promoting it. So why? For the exact reason actually that I just shared is you have to feel the trust with the other person because
Mm.
if you don't feel that, you have to build up something with them. Like, are they friendship worthy first? Because if you do have sex in the first date or the second date, the chances are pretty great, pretty big that they will reject you afterwards. Why? Because women, we feel when we have sex, we feel all our hormones, the oxytocin, the endorphins, they just you know, go
Mhm.
and we want to hug them afterwards. We want to
Yeah.
feel safe and cozy. So especially when he wraps his arm around you after sex,
Mm.
then we feel safe and it feels so cozy and everything. And so we plant a seed in our body like this is what I want. This is the person I want to be with because everything feels so good. I feel so connected, so seen, especially maybe when he makes a breakfast afterwards for you the next day. Then the whole picture is perfect. And then our whole body is already opening up and seeing this person as their future husband, boyfriend, whatever, partner.
Yeah, we do the Disney
The
again.
Disneyfication comes in, but it is because our bodies are different than men, obviously. And for
Mm.
men, it is a different feeling. He can do it, for example, with every woman in town and still doesn't
With
feel
no
connected
connected.
with, well, maybe a little bit more with them than with the other person. But it's not a sign for him like, oh, yeah, I just had sex with this beautiful woman. And now I feel like, oh, yes, she's my future wife. And also, many men that I talk to say, well, I don't, they're very serious, in finding their future wife and
Mm.
say, also here in Bali, say, like, I don't want to have sex with my future girlfriend wife for 3 months because I really want to get to know her and see if we are on the same page. And then
Where can we find these men in
I know
Bali?
some of them. I do know
Ooh,
some of
maybe
them.
that's cool to for our next episode to tell us where we can find high value men in Bali or anywhere
Yes.
in the world.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Sorry, I interrupted
no,
you,
no,
but
no worries. But this is a thing, because if you're really serious in finding a husband, so just protect your energy, and find out who is this person. First, get to know them, see if they're friendship worthy.
mm,
And you can always, it's never too late to have sex, but you can
true.
give yourself like let's say 3 months. Okay, 3 months dating, and then I know really who you are. And if he keeps pushing, then you also know, hey, you don't take me serious. You don't respect my needs or my boundaries.
Mm,
So it really reveals something about the other person. He can say, well, you're so hot. This is now our fifth date. So can we do it now? And you said, like, no, I just want to do it after 3 months
yeah,
or at least 15 dates, whatever it is, you
yeah.
know? So it really reveals the person you're dating with. And if you find out he's not respecting you in that way, then it's bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I'm there with you, and I've been doing that in most of my life. I had one night stand, and it was in Paris while I was on Paris Fashion Week, and I remember how bad I felt afterwards. The walk of shame, waking up in someone's apartment, hangover, feeling used, not having a real connection. It was just not for me. And I made a promise at that moment with myself, never again. This
Yeah.
is not for me. It feels empty, it feels horrible, it doesn't make me feel good at all. And what I've learned is that I really need to have that friendship connection first, because then the sex is so much better because I feel comfortable with you. If I don't feel comfortable with you, the sex is not good.
Hmm.
But if I get to know you, I feel safe with you,
Yeah.
then the sex is so much better because I can relax. I can actually enjoy, you can enjoy touching each other and not going into your head. So yeah, for me that was a really big thing.
Yeah. Beautiful. And also the chemistry will build up.
Mm,
So, because that's sometimes what people think, yeah, but this relationship seems so boring. So, I'm not sure if I can have this chemistry.
hmm,
But, the chemistry really builds up if you can feel safe. And then, you can experiment together or whatever, grow together
mm,
because you already grew together in the 3 months or how long it is without having sex.
true. No, and I feel on sex you can always work. Especially go to a workshop here, a tantric workshop in Bali. Just work on it. That's something you can work on. But actually, that friendship, that's something that's there or
That's
not.
the first step.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next episode will be like where and how to find Iggy's husband.
Okay, guys, if you are excited about my love life and if you want to know where to find high value men, please watch our next episode. Leonie, thank you again for sharing your wisdom with me and
Yeah.
everybody at home. And I can't wait to see you again next time.
Yes, let's do it.
Woo!
Thank you.